What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today you're talking sports with MG Johnson. Today we have the 2021 NFL Week 1 Power Rankings. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoy today's content. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss any videos. Now, look, man. Last season, the power rankings was very, very successful on my channel. Every week that I could, I posted NFL power rankings, ranking the best team to the 15th best team in my opinion. Now, exactly what y'all just heard. I only did top 15 because I thought doing all 32 NFL teams, I just didn't feel like it. But now we're taking it to the next level. We're ranking all 32 teams every single week as much as we can. Now, like I said, a lot of NFL content will be coming to the channel, and I'm not disappointed. So make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of it. And NBA content will be back as soon as the season starts, so don't forget about that. Now, let's get right into today's NFL power rankings. We're going to start from team number 32. We got the Detroit Lions, man. The addition of Jared Goff, TJ Hawkinson should be a good tight end this year. You got DeAndre Swift, who has promise at the running back position, but losing Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr. will be a big hit on this team, and I don't think they'll have that great of a season. And starting off, going into week 1, I have them ranked at number 32. Number 31, we got the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson, his unknown future is still to be unknown. And then you got, the loss of DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt in the last few years, two of the best players on that team. This team is going to take a big hit. Tyrod Taylor at the starting job is a big decrease in talent from Deshaun Watson. So that's the Houston Texans at number 31. At number 30, you got the New York Jets. You got rookie quarterback Zach Wilson. Yeah, and look, man, I think they could possibly finish last in this division. I think they actually will finish last in this division. But other than that, they do have some good talent on the team. Corey Davis coming in, coming off his best season. He's going to be in this team. You got Elijah Moore, who is coming in as a rookie wide out. Should be good for the New York Jets as well, but the defense has a lot of big holes. At number 29, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick, will be playing for this team week 1. But honestly, they have a lot of ways to go in order to even get in the top 20, let alone the top 15 and the top 10 and top 5. Very, very young team, got good talent. Laviska Shenault, James Robinson had an amazing year last season at the running back position. Miles Jack is one of the most underrated linebackers, so you got talent on the Jags team. But number 29 going into week 1 is the perfect spot for them. Number 28, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. You got the return of Joe Burrow, the draft pick of Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon coming back, who's been a consistent 1,000-yard runner when healthy. But that's the thing. Can Joe Mixon stay healthy? Will Joe Burrow be healthy this year? Those are questions still needing to be asked with the questions at the offensive line of the Bengals. Number 27, you got the Carolina Panthers. Now, at quarterback, they added Sam Darnold, and they got rid of Teddy Bridgewater. And honestly, I don't know how much they upgraded at quarterback. Did they even upgrade at all at that position? No. But one thing going for them is that they have DJ Moore, who's a pretty good wide receiver, Robbie Anderson, who's a pretty good wide receiver, and Christian McCaffrey, who is returning for them. Got a good young defensive talent, and Brian Burns on the defensive line. Great edge rusher there for Carolina. You got Jeremy Chin, one of the best young safeties last season. So you got talent there for the Panthers. But is Sam Darnold going to really take this team to big places? I don't think so. Number 26, you got the Denver Broncos, man. Look, this team has a really great defense, has a good secondary with the addition of Kyle Fuller. Got Justin Simmons, one of the best safeties in the NFL. Bradley Chubb, Von Miller on the pass rush should be very, very good for them this season. But the inconsistencies at quarterback, I think, will hurt them. Is Teddy Bridgewater the answer at this point of his career? I don't think so. And I think there's a point in the season where he might be benched for Drew Lock, and Drew Lock might play again. But you do got young talent in Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. KJ Hilmer, also a good young wide receiver. I like the draft pick of Javonte Williams. You got Melvin Gordon in the run game, so should be a good team. Good young team to watch this year. But as of right now, going into week 1, Denver is number 26. Number 25, you got the New York Giants. And y'all know I hate the Giants the most out of any team in the NFL. But I got to be honest, Saquon Barkley is an absolute stud. Being a Penn State fan, He as long as he's healthy, he is one of the top rushers in the NFL. You got the addition of Kenny Galladay. Darius Slayton shows a little bit of promise when healthy. Evan Ingram has inconsistent drop issues, but he does get open from time to time. But the inconsistency of Daniel Jones, I think, could hold them back this season. And going into week 1, they are the 25th best team in the NFL. Number 24, you got the Atlanta Falcons. They lost their man. They lost the myth, the legend, Julio Jones. Obviously, that's a downgrade at the wide receiver position, but they still got Calvin Ridley. Can the draft pick of Kyle Pitts fill the shoes of Julio in the receiving game? We have to wait and see, but I really don't like what they have on the defensive side of the ball, and that's why I have them at 24. Number 23, we got my Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we got a new quarterback coming in with Jalen Hurts. You got Devontae Smith, the first-round pick. But the reason why I got us at 23, because I think we do have a lot of good talent. We have Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, the two-headed monster at tight end, the best tight end duo in the NFL when they're both healthy at the top of their game. You got Fletcher Cox, who's the top 5 defensive tackle. Brandon Graham coming off of the best season of his life. Anthony Harris coming in for the Minnesota Vikings, having 100 tackles last year. A lot of great things going for the Eagles. But the question at linebacker outside of Alex Singleton, and the question if our offensive line can stay healthy because we have a very old offensive line, is questions that we still have to solve. And obviously the big question is Jalen Hurts the franchise guy? Is he the guy that's going to lead us in the next 5 to 10 years? We'll have to wait and see. Number 22, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. You got Derek Carr at quarterback. He's been a very consistent quarterback. He hasn't been the greatest guy, but he has been consistent. Darren Waller, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Josh Jacobs, a very, very elite young running back. But the defense has a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of holes that still has yet to be answered. So the Raiders at 22 is a good spot for them. At number 21, you have the Chicago Bears. Now, you have the addition of Justin Fields, but Andy Dalton is a week 1 starting quarterback for the Bears. Allen Robinson, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, probably top 10. David Montgomery, a nice young running back who goes underrated a lot. You got the great defense coming back with Khalil Mack, Eddie Goldman. You got Robert Quinn, Akeem Hicks on the defensive line. That's a great defensive line there. You got Eddie Jackson, still a top 10 safety who can really do some damage when he's at his best. And Jalen Johnson, a good young corner who had an amazing season last year. The Chicago Bears should be a solid team, but the offensive line inconsistencies, and we don't know when they're starting Justin Fields and how he's going to look, is why I have them kind of at 21 outside of the top 20. Number 20, you got the Washington football team. Now, I actually really like their depth at a lot of positions. Their young defensive line can really put pressure on any quarterback in the NFL. Got a little bit of questions in the secondary, but has an aggressive linebacking core who has a little bit of a consistent offensive line. Ryan Fitzpatrick, you know how he is the journeyman himself up and down. But you got Terry McLaurin there. You got Antonio Gibson, who should both have great seasons for the Washington football team. Number 19, you got the Minnesota Vikings right here. Justin Jefferson had such an amazing year last year. Adam Thielen, still an 1,000-yard wide receiver. Dalvin Cook, still one of the best running backs in the NFL. This should be a good offense for Minnesota this year. Has the average offensive line, but the young defense still holds question for me, and the reason why they're not a little bit higher. 19 is the spot for Minnesota. Number 18, you got the New Orleans Saints, man. Alvin Kamara, a great running back who can rush and receive the ball. You got Michael Thomas. Whenever he comes back healthy, he will be one of the best receivers in the NFL. You got Marshawn Lattimore, who's still a very, very good corner. Cam Jordan, who's a really good pass rusher. They did lose a guy who was top 5 in sacks last year, and Trey Hendrickson. We'll see how that goes for them, though. But Jameis Winston, a new quarterback, that's the face of the show. We'll see how he does. Is he making the improvements that the Saints organization said he did? We'll have to wait and see. Number 18 for the New Orleans Saints. Number 17, you got the New England Patriots. Now, they're not the most talented team on this list, but at the end of the day, they're coached by none other than the GOAT himself, Bill Belichick. They're always going to be well-disciplined. Mac Jones is coming in as a rookie, number 15 overall pick. Let's see what he has there. The addition of Nelson Aguilar, Jalen Mills, the tight end Hunter Henry, another tight end in Jonnu Smith. Let's see how their offense does after the free agent signings that they made. Mac Jones in his rookie year will be an interesting thing to watch here in the New England. Number 16, you got the Los Angeles Chargers, just right outside the top 15, have a really good offense with Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler just needs to stay healthy, and he can prove that he is a very, very good running back. You got Keenan Allen, who's one of the best, if not the best route runner in the league that we have. the way he runs his routes is just insane. You got Mike Williams, who is a very, very good receiver when healthy, can be a good deep threat and catch the ball in contested situations. The defense, when healthy, is pretty good with Nick Bosa and Derwin James leading the pack. Two great young defenders in this NFL. Derwin James, when healthy, is probably the best safety in the NFL. The thing is, he's never healthy, and that's one thing I want to see out of him. But other than that, the Chargers at 16 is a pretty good spot for them, considering how young they are and how better they could get. Number 15, you got the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I hate the Cowboys, but they are a good team with a great offense. Got Ezekiel Elliott. The offensive line is getting a little older, but when they're healthy, they have a really good offensive line. CeeDee Lamb should have a breakout season. Michael Gallup, still an amazing wide receiver, have a three-headed monster at that wideout position. Then you like I said, you got Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, two good running backs. Well, one good running back and another amazing running back when he's fully healthy. Also, to the return of Dak Prescott. How is he going to look this year? I think he'll look just fine. Number 15 is the spot for Dallas. Number 14, you got the AFC North champions, the defending AFC North champions, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, is this his last year? Is he going to stick it out a couple more years, just like Tom Brady? You got Chase Claypool, who's a great young wide receiver who can do some damage. Juju Smith-Schuster is no slouch. He is a really good wide receiver as well. The running back, Najee Harris, who they drafted in the first round, should be a very, very good running back. The defense, obviously, was one of the best last year, led by Minka Fitzpatrick and T.J. Watt. So we'll have to see what happens here in Pittsburgh. But number 14 right here, I think is a great spot for them. Still a top 15 team and a potential wild card or playoff team. Number 13, you got the Miami Dolphins. This defense is very, very underrated by the global fan of the NFL. Not a lot of people give respect to this Dolphins defense, but led by two of the top corners in this game. You got Byron Jones, who's a really good corner. Xavier Howard, who led the league in interceptions last year, should be great once again with those two corners. The defensive line holds a little bit of question, but if that secondary plays up to their potential, the defense will be really good. The draft pick of Jalen Waddle is really good, connecting him back with his quarterback in Tua. And right here, with the guy Tua, let's see what he does this year. I think he will have an amazing year. I think he'll have a good year number 2. You know, had a little bit of inconsistencies year number 1, but as long as he continues to get better and plays up to his potential, Tua Tagovailoa should be a good quarterback. Number 13 is a spot for Miami. Number 12, you got the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, I think this is going to be his best year yet. You got DeAndre Hopkins, probably the best receiver in the NFL right now. And then you got a guy like Christian Kirk, who's a very, very consistent wide receiver, a nice number 2 wide receiver you want to have on your team. But they got some old veterans on the team. You got A.J. Green and J.J. Watt coming over to the squad to add some veterancy. I think that's very, very good for your locker room, getting some veteran guys who knows the NFL very well. So give me the Arizona Cardinals being a top 12 team this year at number 12. Number 11, you got the Indianapolis Colts. And, man, this team should be solid this year. You got Carson Wentz, my former quarterback, going into Indianapolis in a new situation. A little bit of an injury scare in training camp, but he looks like he's going to be good for this season. You got a young wideout in Michael Pittman Jr., who I'm a big fan of. T.Y. Hilton's still a good veteran wide receiver. He just needs to stay healthy and stay on the field. Jonathan Taylor having 1,000 yards last year at the running back position is very good. I think the Colts could have a great defense this year, led by Darius Leonard and DeForest Buckner. So we'll see what happens there. But the Colts at number 11 going into week number 1. Number 10, you got the Seattle Seahawks, man. You got old, reliable, never let you down, carry the team on his back, and that's Mr. Russell Wilson himself. You got DK Metcalf, one of the best young wideouts in the league. Tyler Lockett, a consistent 1,000-yard receiver who has a great connection with Russell Wilson. Chris Carson is a decent running back when healthy. So you got a great offense here in Seattle. The defense is always the big question. You got Bobby Wagner, who's getting up there in age. Jamal Adams, they just played a big contract too. Those guys are going to have to really, really lead that defense for that defense to be great this year. So the Seahawks being a top 10 team is right where they should be at number 10. That is the Seattle Seahawks. Number 9, you got the Tennessee Titans. And you got Derrick Henry, man, probably the best running back in the league. Had 2,000 yards last year, rushed the football, adding Julio Jones, who's a freak of nature, one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in our generation. You got A.J. Brown, one of the best young receivers in this generation. I mean, you can't go wrong with the weapons they have on this offense. Tight end's a little bit of a question, but they got Kevin Byard, one of the most underrated safeties in the game, but their defense still has a lot of question that has yet to be answered, but their offense is great, so they are in the number 9 team. Number 8, you got the Los Angeles Rams, adding Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff. I think that's a good upgrade at quarterback. Getting Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods on the field again this year. They should be one of the best receiving corps again, like they were the past 2 years. You got a question at running back, and that is a very big question at running back that I'm still waiting to see. But other than that, have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey leading that defense is something that any team wish they could have. Literally having the best defensive lineman and the best corner in the NFL. It's just a great, it's a match made in heaven. So Rams being the number 8 team, and if they're fully healthy, they could go far this year. Number 7, I got a team that was recently in the Super Bowl, not last year, but the year before. I got the San Francisco 49ers. Listen, last year they missed the playoffs, but that was because of injury. But you know when they're healthy, they're getting Nick Bosa back, George Kittle back healthy. Jimmy Garoppolo's a decent quarterback when he is healthy. Brandon Ayuk in year 2. Deebo Samuel coming back. This team is locked and loaded, fully healthy, and ready to have a revenge tour type of season. I can't wait to watch the Niners. They are the number 17. They were top 3 when they were last healthy. Last year, injuries had them miss the playoffs, but the Niners are no slouch when they are healthy. Number 6, I got the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is going to continue to improve his passing game. While he is the most athletic quarterback, he is an absolute star. He is a showman. He gives you a show every time he touches the field. Hollywood Brown, he's coming in trying to prove himself as a wide receiver, number 1. And Rashad Bateman, their first-round draft pick, a wide receiver. He is injured to start the season, but if we can see him towards the end of the season, see how he does, it should be good. Had a big loss in J.K. Dobbins, but I do think the Ravens will still be effective in the run game, as they recently signed Le'Veon Bell and have a solid running back in Gus Edwards there in the backfield. Number 5, I got the NFC champion appearance the last 2 years, but they didn't make the Super Bowl. That is the Green Bay Packers, man. Listen, man, the Packers are one of the best teams in the league. They were the last 2 years, but they just can't get past the NFC championship. But the Green Bay Packers have a great team. You got Aaron Rodgers coming back. Could this be his last season? We'll have to find that out later. Devontae Adams, one of the best, if not the best receiver in the NFL. Aaron Jones, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Just a special triple threat to have. David Bakhtiari, when he comes back healthy, one of the best, if not the best left tackle in the NFL, but still has a lot of question on the offensive line, though. But you got Jair Alexander, who's an amazing corner, one of the best lockdown corners in the NFL. That's going to be great to see. Green Bay Packers at number 5. Number 4, you got the Cleveland Browns. Last year, they finally made the playoffs. They finally broke that hump. Baker Mayfield coming in, trying to have a better season than he did last year. You got OBJ coming back fully healthy and motivated. Jarvis Landry, one of the best wide receivers, best number 2 wide receivers in the NFL. And then you got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in that run game. They can really run you down. So Cleveland Browns at number 4 is very great. And then they got the man himself, Myles Garrett, who's rushing the quarterback. Had double-digit sacks last year. I think he'll do that again. Could be Defensive Player of the Year. Give me the Browns at number 4. At number 3, you got a team that made the AFC Championship last year. That is the not the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs had a great connection last year, one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the NFL. They should do that once again this year. You got Cole Beasley, who's a consistent wide receiver throughout his career. You got Devin Singletary and Zach Moss in the backfield. That is a little bit of a question. Let's see if they can be consistent this year, but if they can, that'll add an extra great element to the Bills' offense. And Josh Allen has another year under his belt, can get better, be more clutch in the playoffs. The Bills are one of the best teams, and I have them at number 3. At number 2, I got the defending AFC champions, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, man, the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the improved offensive line. You got the addition of Orlando Brown coming in at the left tackle position. This should be a great season. Tyrann Mathieu, one of the best safeties in the league. Chris Jones, one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. The Chiefs team is loaded with a lot of talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Has an average defense with 2 amazing players in Chris Jones and the Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu. But the reason why I don't have them at number 1 is because I have the defending Super Bowl champion, the 7-time champion at quarterback. You have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette. You got Ronald Jones, who's a solid running back, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown. Do I need to name more? Have an amazing defense. One of the best linebacking corps in the league with Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett having an amazing season. He can get to the quarterback, and Ndamukong Suh and Jason Pierre-Paul, great veterans on the team who can still produce at a high level. that is my number one team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champions, who will be playing this Thursday against the Cowboys. Should be fun. So if you guys enjoyed this power rankings video, that was my top 32 teams, man. So let me know what y'all agree with. Let me know what y'all disagree with, what y'all might not like. And other than that, it's your boy MG Nas. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you tell your friends, family, and favorite sports fans about the channel, because we only going up from here. A lot of NFL content and NBA content as soon as the season for basketball starts back up. Appreciate everyone for watching. Until next time, you've been talking sports with MG Nas, and I am out. Peace.